Well, I know, but hey. But hey, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this off air. Dum, dum, dum. As always, I would do this. Whoever's watching, whoever's listening, whoever's in the audience, I would say this. Always find a way to be grateful for something. Today, 60 seconds of gratitude. Welcome to the Morning Grind. Cameron, what are you grateful for? Good morning, Amanda. Familia. What are you grateful for, Benny?
I'm grateful for Zena. She was with me all weekend this weekend.
Oh, that's weak.
It's not weak.
Oh, that is very weak. I look frozen, Van. Well, I look like I'm... Hey, Dre, good to see you this morning. Man, Dre was in the gym this morning. That dude was getting after it. Damn, he was flying. I don't know how he... My wife is even on here. So, this morning, starting 60 seconds of gratitude. Shannon... I need to get Shannon over here every Tuesday to teach his present moment practice. Have you ever heard him talk about that, where you just enjoy the... It's hard for me to enjoy the moment because I'm always looking into the future. I'm a future person. I want to know about my future, so it's hard for me to stay in the moment. But here's something I am thankful for. My wife, she wanted to have... We did not go to church yesterday. We've been going to church pretty regularly. We did not go yesterday because we had our parents. I had my mom over there, and she had her mom and her stepdad, and we all had lunch, and my wife brought in heavenly ham or honey baked ham, one of those places. Which one is it? She's on here, she'll say. But it was really good to have a family-centered lunch. And this is something that I do not do enough. Do you guys do it? Do you eat? You eat with your family a lot, but you're still a damn kid. Do you? Yeah.
Holidays, right? Yeah, just holidays.
I only have my mom around here.
Okay. Brittany, grateful to get some spring outdoor cleaning done. How about you? Do you have...
Sometimes, yeah. More times than not.
See, that as you get older, Van, tell them, as you get older, it's just something that you become more and more disconnected from as you get older. And yesterday, it was really, really cool. So I'm very thankful that we did that, but I'm very thankful for this. Next Saturday, I'm going to see if I make Julia cry. She'll cry so easy, won't you? So whenever I made the decision that I was going to become more successful, it happened because I was listening to Grant Cardone and Michael Burt. They were doing this interview, and I didn't know who Grant Cardone was. This was probably 2011, 2012. And he said something to Burt: success is your duty, your obligation. If you can't do it for you, do it for the people you love. Do it for your mom. Do it for your dad. And I was living with my mom at the time, and I just started crying thinking, man, I'm 38 years old and I'm living with my mama. I'm just a loser piece of shit. Of course, she didn't think that about me, but that's how I was interpreting it to motivate myself. And I got really inspired in that moment. And one of the things that's always been tough for me was to let other people down. I could let myself down, and I didn't care because I'd become so numb to failing, so callous to, well, this didn't work, so what? But it always bothered me to disappoint others, like my mama. Hey, let's start crying. So I made that decision. Right then that I was gonna refocus, re-energize my life. And I was going to use not letting my mama be disappointed in me as the fuel. And I said, you know what? Damn, that's right. So there was a lot of days where I didn't want to do something, but I did it because that thought of how she was viewing me, even if she was not saying anything, it was like my little energy source. It was like whenever Pac-Man was eating those super pellets and he could go eat up all the ghosts. So I used it as motivation. And to this day, one of the things that I do every single day is I write down these things that I want to accomplish. And the things I want to accomplish, surprisingly, have very little to do with me. It's more about what can I do with this to help my family, help my friends, help the other people that are around me. So I want a Florida house. And whenever I think about this Florida house, I don't so much think about how much I'm down there, but I think about my mom down there. I think about Brittany down there. I think about the damn dog down there. I think we're going to take Jax down there and my mom next Saturday, and we're going to stay a week. And I'm doing this to prepare myself in the future when I do have my place down there. We're going to be down here all the time. So this upcoming Saturday, I'm taking my mom, I'm taking her best friend, I'm taking the family and the dog, and we're going to go down there. And this is me kind of living out this dream that started about 10 years ago. I'm in the process. How do you say process? We'll start saying process. I'm in the process of becoming that thought that I had in 2011 or 12, whenever it was. So I'm very thankful for that. So I've got a poll question today. And this started at breakfast. And some of you said, I think it depends on your age and your interest. But when did you first start getting into social media? Cameron.
Sophomore year of high school.
I need to know a date. 2000 and or whatever. 2000 what?
2013, 12.
What were you first introduced? What platform? What did you get on?
Instagram.
You're on Instagram first. Okay. What were you on first? In what year? Zanga. What the hell was Zanga?
It was like before Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Zanga, MySpace, Facebook.
Where is Travis Lawrence? Why is he answering and not sitting back there? What were you on first? And what year?
Instagram, 2012.
Facebook in probably like 2008, 2009.
Josh was on Fayho book. Cameron was on MySpace. I remember when MySpace started out. I got on MySpace. And I really wasn't very active on MySpace. I didn't understand it. So then Facebook came out. I didn't get on Facebook till 2009. When did you get on a social media platform, and what was it?
2009, I was on Facebook.
How old were you?
I was in 5th grade. I was just on there playing games on the computer. Facebook used to have games.
Facebook had games? Who remembers that? So here's my question. How much time do you spend today on socials versus how much you spent back then? Are we still a society? Are you on the social media platform as much as you used to be?
No.
You're on it more now. What are you doing on there more often?
Just like posting stuff of myself or my life, I guess.
Are you on it more or less? Do you have more or less interest? Less interest?
Probably like the same.
You got the same?
Way more.
You're on it way more. Travis, are you on, what was your first social media? That's a good looking shirt. You're on MySpace in 2006. Okay, then how long were you, are you still on MySpace?
No, I don't think nobody remembers their password for that.
So what are you on today?
Facebook, Instagram.
Okay, now are you on as much today as you were then?
More, for sure.
You're on it more for sure. What do you get on there and do?
Check up with family, network.
Well, so whenever there's a large amounts of people that go to an area, marketers go there and they ruin it. Everybody here becomes a marketer on that usually. So I was at breakfast this morning and I was posing this question to the group. Are you as dominated, are you as active in your mind as you used to be with social media? Because I would used to just be sitting here and going into a Facebook Live. I would post 10 times a day. And I'm still the kind of person, like if you comment on my stuff, I don't even respond to
I
it.
think when I started Facebook, it was like going outside to do something. Like your post was more about
I would like go into my friend's first
pizza for dinner.
See, so are we still as engaged with it as we once were? And my question, the poll question is this: do you see this slowly becoming less and less relevant?
Social media?
Yeah, social media. See, something new is going to come along. Elon Musk, he's trying to take over Twitter. Who here used to be a Twitter person?
Yeah.
Are you still?
Not really.
Are you a Twitter person?
I mean, I get on it occasionally, but I used to be on it like all the time.
What were you on there doing?
Tweeting.
Talking shit.
What about you, Liliana?
I get on a tweet other people's stuff, not
Are you a Twitter person?
I used to be.
See, I love to get on there and find information. That's why I like it. But I feel like we're becoming a little numb to social media, especially in our industry where so many people, like if you're a realtor, you put your shit out there every 10 minutes. And if it's not you, it's you or you or you or you or you. Well, what happens when the masses see that all the time? I think I think it's a mental block. I also think it's a block where you can see it but not see it. Like you could see me today and you may not even realize what I was doing or what I was wearing. So how, moving forward, what is going to be people's MO of how they get their message out?
Just like posting what you think people would be interested in. If I post like something real estate related, nobody likes it, comments it. But if it's like my kids or whatever, they're all over it.
So I think what Shannon Wheeler does, like I used to do this thing, and I've thought about wanting to bring it back, but I just feel so torn with time and the commitment and all the things. Were you here when I was doing what was called Level Up?
I was here for straight from the gut.
Straight from the gut. Okay. Well, Shannon is doing something called the After Close. None of y'all came to it except me and Van. Where were all y'all? You didn't even come, did you?
I had all my kids.
How many of them?
3 of them.
What's the difference between 2 and 3?
More competition.
Is it harder to go from 2 to 3? That's a big increase. Just curious for a friend. It's not the end of the world, though, is it?
It's a challenge. I like a challenge.
It's a challenge, but Shannon does this thing called the After Close where, like, I think what people need to start doing today is having, like, this community. Remy went, a community of where we're like, whatever we used to do gets old, and now anything new and different seems fun. I think community is that's why I want to do. I was going to do an event coming up at the end of this month, but I'm going to be out of town. But I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like the social media has, it's definitely, the longer you've been on it, the less impactful it is. But I see a lot of young people, man, that are just, their lives are becoming so messed up by this. Whenever I was growing up, we didn't have cell phones. When I was a kid, I didn't have a cell phone until I was probably 25, 26 years old. How old were you when you got your first one? 12, probably looking at shit you shouldn't. How old were you?
I had like one of those minute phones when I was in like 3rd grade.
How old were you? 8, 9?
I don't know
How old were you?
14.
I think like 13.
12. And these kids, they get onto social media and then they're looking at, they're sitting there looking at their life, and their life sucks because they're grounded or their parents won't let them do something, and then they see your kid on there and they're doing all this stuff. They're seeing the highlight, and I think this is going to be a really, really bad problem as kids they adjust in the way they think and the way they feel about themselves.
I feel defeated.
I feel like our age group though, it's like as we're having these younger kids, we're also afraid to give our kids phones now. Because like me and all my friends, it's like we're not giving our kids phones.
Well, whenever Nick gets his phone, that's when he goes to work. It's a lot harder for him to get into trouble if he don't have that phone. When he's got that phone, shit changes around there. So this is something I've been thinking about. How are we going to connect? Or have we connected so much to people through a computer that we've lost real true connection? Like I was talking about earlier, it all gets back to this weekend about how refreshing it was to bring family in and not connect through a Facebook post. You know, of course, everybody still wants to take pictures and put it on there. You know, they still want to make sure my mom, we took about 14 pictures. We took 5, and she put one of them on there. But the most important thing was all week I was looking forward to this. I know my wife took a lot of pride in that. But how many people are losing connection with friends and family because of they've got this replacement, they've got this new virtual reality life. Just curious, just want to know about this. So here's my point. Make sure you're staying connected to the people that matter. I'm taking my mom to Florida. I feel like that's something that I should be doing. I'm gonna fly her down there. So Van's got to find a flight down there unless my buddy Nagy comes back and says, "Here's what's funny," and we're gonna wrap this up on something funny. Okay, I'm a little deep this morning. My buddy Nagy said, hey, man, I got a cancellation at the last minute if you want to come down here. I'm like, put me in. He told me yesterday, man, those people didn't cancel. So I told Brittany this morning, we might not be going after getting everybody all worked up in the house and my mom and the dog. Everybody's going to be pissed off at me. Van, shut us down. I got to do some teaching around here.